dwarf speak? What the heck is dwarf speak, and what does it have to do with this kind of magic that we would call spell work, speaking things into existence? Stay tuned. I'm going to share with you exactly what this ancient European shamanic science was and what you can do to tap into this power and use this power of dwarf speak to literally speak into existence your will. Stay tuned. In ancient times in Europe, there was a shamanic science that we would call spell magic. But our ancient Old English ancestors called it dwarf speak. Hi, this is Michael William Denny of the ThunderWizard.com YouTube channel. So, we're getting into some exciting stuff. We've been talking a lot about things like dwarves and elves and what this has to do with actual shamanic practice. Well, as you know, in the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church was coming into Europe and was wiping out the old religion, the old shamanic belief system of the indigenous European people that they had been following for tens of thousands of years. But there were some things they couldn't get rid of. Now, one of the things that was very difficult for the church to get rid of was the belief in beings that we call elves and dwarves. And so since they couldn't get rid of this belief that the people had, they began to belittle elves and dwarves. That's why today when we talk about elves, we talk about these little tiny pixie-like creatures with pointy hats and pointy shoes who make toys for Santa in the North Pole. Well, our ancestors had a far different view of what elves were. The same is true with dwarves. Now, dwarves are not stocky little bearded Scottish guys that run around throwing battle axes at each other. Dwarves are actually beings that live in the realm of the subconscious, and they have the power to create all of manifested reality. They are incredibly powerful beings. So a shaman who has the ability to communicate with these beings called dwarves and to get them to do work for them actually had the power to create reality out of nothing. That's why spell work or magic was called dwarf speak. It meant that a shaman had the ability with his mouth to speak to dwarves, to command them, and to get them to go create reality for him. Now this became a very powerful person, and in fact dwarves were seen as such powerful creatures that even the cardinal directions are called dwarves: north, south, east, and west. Did you know that? That those are the names of dwarves? These are the guardians of the four cardinal directions of time and space. This is how powerful these beings are. So, in order to understand how to do spell work, we have to master the subconscious realm. Because the dwarves live underground where they do all of their work. And in fact, all of the gods get all of their magical tools from the dwarves who create them in their workshops in caves and underground. Now, if you are a smart shaman, you know the symbolism behind this. It means that the dwarves live in the subconscious realm of reality, and that they have the ability to manifest reality, and they have the ability to give human beings magical tools. So, how does one go about speaking to the dwarves? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that the dwarves are part of our own subconscious realm, and that in order to master the dwarves, you have to master your own subconscious. If you haven't already, please go back and watch the video where I talk about elves and dwarves and what they really are, and then come back to this video because we're expanding upon that knowledge that we started sharing about. By the way, if you haven't already, we are getting very deep into how to apply this knowledge of elves and dwarves into using it for what I call the thunder wheel. Now, the thunder wheel is actually the key. It's the one magical combination key that you need in order to be able to actually unlock reality. It's the most powerful tool from a shamanic perspective and from a magical perspective that I've ever run into before. And it's based on science in multiple spiritual traditions from around the world that have an unbroken connection into prehistory. In other words, this is not stuff that has been made up over the past couple hundred years. This is actually a spiritual science that masters have used for thousands of years and have kept it secret. I am sharing with you this secret in the Master Shamanism class, and if you're interested, please go to my Patreon page right here, where you can enroll and subscribe at various levels and get access to subscriber-only videos where I share with you the nuts and bolts of how to use this science of the Thunder Wheel. Anyway, let's get back to dwarves. So we all know even today that psychologists will say that the majority of everything that we think and do comes from the subconscious and the unconscious realm. In fact, the conscious mind is probably 1%. It's the tip of the iceberg. Underneath that, you have this huge subconscious realm, and underneath that, you have the unconscious realm, which is even bigger. And so in order to master reality, you've got to master these realms. Now, the dwarves are the masters of the subconscious realm. When you can master your subconscious mind, you can literally call into existence these dwarves, these beings of the subconscious realm, who will then serve you. And they will literally respond to your words. First, you have to learn how to do it in ritual. And this is why ritual was so important to our ancestors, because ritual is where the dwarves took completely everything seriously that you said and did. And the great thing is that if you just simply know the basics of how to do ritual, your dwarves will look to you as the almighty God of the universe and will follow your words to the letter and can create out of nothing anything that you want. This is the power of dwarf speak, and this is why our ancestors, the sorcerers or magicians, were called those who practiced dwarf speak. Anyway, so that's it for now. I used to say, if you like this channel, please support the channel, but YouTube has gotten rid of that. You can no longer support the channel here. So, if you want to support this channel, please go to my Patreon page below, and you can either support the channel, let me know that you appreciate these videos, you like what I'm doing, and if you want, there are multiple subscription levels where you can get involved in the Shamanism Masterclass that I'm teaching. You can get access to videos that are only viewed by people who are subscribers on my Patreon page. In any case, that's it for now, my friends. Remember that our ancestors had keys to manifesting reality, and those keys still exist. And I'm here to share those with you. So that's it for now. Talk to you soon.